and we're so excited to have you a part of it. And I think your guests will truly walk away having one of the best experiences of their life next September. Before we dive in, I just want to hear from a few folks who make all this possible. Without them, the Ryder Cup would not happen. So, Brian Carnes, the tournament director of the Ryder Cup, if you want to say a few words, please.
Thanks, Murph. And first and foremost, it would still certainly happen without me. I think that's what's incredible about the Ryder Cup is it is turned into such a big operation for us, both on the course at Bethpage, really the broadcast, just the way it's become such a bucket list item. It's really been pretty incredible to see. And my first Ryder Cup was 2008, which obviously dates me a little bit, but it's been remarkable just to see the growth. And so we hope that you all are excited about this. When we signed the deal to come to Bethpage for the 2019 PGA, and at that point, 24 Ryder Cup, I think we had circled it as an opportunity to really do our greatest event on sort of the grandest scale, and expectations were essentially through the roof. And what's been incredible is that as hard as that was to believe that we continue to exceed, particularly on a market like this, we've done just that. The position we're in, whether it's corporate sales, it's volunteers, it's tickets, it shows the demand is just through the roof. And so again, you all are a massive part of that. I think you're going to be really happy as we get closer to the event and you start getting those phone calls from your customers, from internal folks, that you're really going to make their year, if not sort of their professional sports kind of life by allowing them to come to the Ryder Cup in this sort of capacity. So we genuinely appreciate you. We hope that if this is your first time, that this will be the first of many. And for those of you that have been around for numerous Ryder Cups, we were so grateful, but we know that you have been able to pick up on what makes the Ryder Cup special. And while there's so many ways to entertain people, this is arguably the best. So Murph, I'll kick it back to you. And again, can't wait to see you all in a few weeks, and then excited to host you all next year.
Thank you, Brian. And I know a few folks are trickling in, but I want to hear from our dedicated sales team. So Kristen, if you will start and then just pass it around the horn to all the sales folks, please.
Thanks, Murph. Hi, everybody. Look forward to working with you over the next year, and excited to have you all in person in the next couple of weeks. But again, just to reiterate, Brian, thank you so much for participating. And like he said, it's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime sports event. So looking forward to getting it. I think it's 364 days officially today until it all starts. So with that, I'll hand it over to Matt DeConza.
Thank you, Kristen. I echo a lot of both hers and Brian's sentiments. I think, obviously been in communication with a lot of different people on this call, but excited to get these planning meetings underway. And then for those of you who are going to be joining us in person out in Bethpage next month, I think it's going to be great. So we are super excited. Officially 364 days away from the start of the Ryder Cup week. So thank you all again for your participation and joining us today. And I'll send it over to Larry Schwartz.
Actually, Larry Sinclair here. But look forward to working with all of no worries. Look forward to working with all of you all. I see a lot of familiar faces, a lot of new faces. This is my fifth U.S. Ryder Cup to work on, so I've been around the block here. There's nothing like the Ryder Cup event, and you and your guests are going to enjoy it. So at any point during the next year, feel free to reach out to any of us. We're here to help you guys.
Thank you. John Hanley.
Yeah, I'll be brief, but just to echo, we're thrilled to have everybody with you. A lot of familiar faces on this call and a lot of new ones as well. So every event is special in its own right, but this one in particular, as Murphy articulated, this is a once-in-a-lifetime event. The overall program is approaching being completely sold out. So as you all know from doing in events, it starts with an event that has a ticket that has the cachet of attending it. So we are feel great about this one in particular, and really looking forward to spending some time with you all in person at our premiere week. So with that, we'll get into the program and look forward to seeing you all in the field.
All right. Well, thank you, John. All right. So just to review today's goals of the presentation, we are going to introduce you to your planning resource, which is the planner site, and go through kind of the logistics of how you navigate that website. We will be reviewing your credential package and everything that you will receive as a part of your hospitality package. And we will review all of the service partners and the opportunities that you can enhance your package if you wish, and then wrap up with a preview of Ryder Cup Premier Week, which we will have each of you in person the week of October 7th. Just a few housekeeping items before we dive in. We kindly ask that everyone stay on mute for the duration of the call until we pause for question and answer sessions. If you wish, in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen is a chat function, so feel free to drop in any questions. We will have a moderator responding to those questions. Also use the hand-raising function at the bottom of your screen when we pause for a question and answer session, and we'll go around the horn and make sure each of you have full confidence ahead of the Ryder Cup. So I'm going to go ahead and present my screen. Isaiah, if you will drop the planner link in the chat, if anyone wishes to follow along, and we will post a recording of this meeting as soon as the meeting wraps up. So we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so on my screen is what you are seeing. This is the Hospitality Planner website. So for lack of a better term, this is the Bible for your planning resource. This has every single thing that you need to know on how to really achieve that return on your investment with this hospitality package. Obviously, we will be having several of these virtual calls as well as in-person calls, but this is the blueprint on how you would manage your Empire Suite. And the first thing that we want to dive into is what you're receiving as a part of your package. I know many of you are like, what the hell did I purchase? And how many tickets am I getting to the Ryder Cup? So we're going to review that to start the call. So many of you on this call all of you all on this call are Empire Suite purchasers, and you've either purchased a 60-guest Empire Suite or a 30-guest Empire Suite. For the purpose of today's call, we're going to use the 60-guest Empire Suite example, knowing if you have a 30-guest, the credentials are in here. They're just a little bit decremented based on what you purchased. So kicking off the Ryder Cup, starting on Tuesday, September 23rd. This is the first Tuesday of the Ryder Cup. Hospitality venues are closed. However, you will receive, if you're a 60-guest Empire Suite purchaser, 60 grounds tickets to the Ryder Cup. Once again, your hospitality venue is closed. However, as a perk of being a hospitality purchaser, you will have access to what we are calling our Ryder Cup Plus program. So you will have access to all-inclusive food and beverage and non-alcoholic beverage at every concession stand throughout the course. So say your guests are following a practice round and they come across a concession stand, they do not have to pull out their wallet or anything of that nature. They will have access to our food and non-alcoholic beverage program. However, with the hospitality venue being closed on Tuesday, if they do wish to purchase an alcoholic beverage, they will have to do that on Tuesday. A few important items to call out on the tickets is that they are completely digital for the Ryder Cup, and also our admissions policy. So once you enter the grounds of the Ryder Cup, you cannot exit and re-enter. This is no different than going to a Yankees game or any large sporting event where once you enter the ballpark, you cannot go and exit as you wish. So it's no different than any other sporting event that you would experience. Before I pause for questions, I'm going to go through the days of when your hospitality venue is open. So Wednesday through Sunday is when your Empire Suite is officially open. The bar is open, food is being served, the AC is on, and you have full access to the grounds of the Ryder Cup and your hospitality venue. Once again, you will receive 60 tickets for each of those days, Wednesday through Sunday. However, I want to go through a few nuances of those tickets. So all of these tickets will be digital. Once again, we have decided in an effort to do digital tickets because we have found you have a greater return on your investment. When we had physical tickets, they would often ship those tickets, and then a guest would either get sick or no longer attend, and that ticket is several miles away. With digital tickets, you are able to transfer, pull back tickets, and send tickets to ensure that all of your guests are attending. Once we get closer to the Ryder Cup, we will have a ticket distribution meeting and go through the logistics of how you accept and manage your digital ticket inventory. A few important things to call out is that we do not have a junior policy into the hospitality venue. So it's very important that when you are confirming which guests are going to arrive to the Ryder Cup, that you're asking, do they have a junior? Because everyone must have a hospitality ticket to enter into the Empire Suites. So once again, if you're inviting a family and they didn't let you know that they have their kids, unless you have an extra Empire Suite ticket, they will not be allowed to come into the Empire Suite. So it's very, very important that you're asking all guests, regardless of their age, who's attending, are they bringing any additional guests? Because you have a very valuable ticket on your hands, and a lot of people are going to want to come to the Ryder Cup. Before we pause for any questions, also as a part of your package are preferred parking passes. So if you're a 60 guest Empire Suite, you will receive 18 preferred parking passes Tuesday through Sunday. And this admits one standard vehicle into a parking lot very, very close to the Ryder Cup grounds. And that, say you were to go to a convenience store, that is the type of parking space that I'm speaking of. So the largest vehicle allowed in that space is a Sprinter van. One important note is that these parking passes are physical. So we will be mailing these physical parking passes to you. They simply hang in your rear view mirror, and a parking lot attendant directs you to park in the next available space. So there are two other items that you will receive a part of your package, which are additional tickets and the staff badge. But I want to pause there for any questions regarding the base amount of tickets and parking passes that you receive with your package.
Hey, Murph, just a couple questions coming through the chat.
Sure.
First one is, can different people go on different days, or does it have to be the same guest each day? And those tickets will be day specific and individual. So you could invite a different person each day with that ticket, or you could send them all to the same person for each day. And then the next question is, are the parking passes digital or physical? And I think you mentioned this, but the parking passes will be physical.
That's correct. And those will be mailed to you as we inch in on the Ryder Cup to an address of your choosing. So, and I know we're going to cover a lot of material today. And if something pops into your mind that we need to revert back to later in the presentation, we're more than happy to do so.
One more question quick on the parking passes, Murph. Are Sprinter vans or minibuses okay? Are they able to use those parking passes?
Sure. So the largest vehicle will be a Sprinter van. So think of a Mercedes Sprinter van that you typically see. That will be the largest vehicle permitted into the preferred parking lot. We will cover a few more transportation items later in today's presentation that I think will provide clarity on the minibus versus the Sprinter van.
One more question on the parking passes. Are vehicles able to come and go from the preferred lot?
Yes, as long as you are displaying your preferred parking pass, you may come and go from that preferred parking lot. Yes.
Great. Thank you. One more question from Chris, just asking for some more clarification on the staff badge. Chris, we will get into the staff badge here a little bit further down the call.
Exactly. So that is the turnkey admissions package and the parking pass as a part of your Empire Suite purchase. Once again, we do have the information for the 30 guest Empire Suites detailing this exact information, just decremented. So Chris, to tackle your question regarding the planner staff badge. So this is a physical badge that is typically reserved for your coordinator or planner on behalf of your suite. So if you're a 60 guest Empire Suite, you'll receive 2 of these physical badges. And if you're a 30 guest Empire Suite, you'll receive 1 of these badges. And these badges are physical. They will have your company name on them. And then they do allow greater privileges. And those privileges are, they do allow you into the grounds, and they do allow you into the hospitality venue. They will have food and beverage included. However, they are transferable. So say you have a planner who's working your suite in the morning, and they will use your planner badge. And then say you have a different planner who's working your suite in the afternoon, you can transfer that badge and pass that off to them. You also are allowed to exit the Ryder Cup grounds and re-enter the Ryder Cup grounds. So say you had to drop off some guests, escort them into the Ryder Cup, go back to your place of business and re-enter, you will be allowed to do that with your staff badge. This also allows you to greater privileges such as bringing in a laptop or any planning supplies or anything of that nature to ensure that you're managing your Empire Suite to the best of your ability. Excuse me. So we will get into later in the presentation, but you will have an opportunity to purchase any additional staff badges as well as additional tickets. However, I'll pause there if there are any questions regarding the planner staff badge. Once again, it is a physical badge that you will receive closer to the 2025 Ryder Cup. Isaiah, with that, any questions?
I think we are good on staff badges. There are a couple questions about purchasing additional ones, if that'll be available, and that those will be available to purchase at a future point in time. Exactly. And there's a question if there's a max on how many staff badges you can buy.
Sure. So this actually is a great segue into the next portion of today's presentation. So many of you are curious, or I'm sure worrying, hey, I've maxed out my Empire Suite tickets and I've got a key stakeholder that I need to invite to the Ryder Cup because it is such a momentous event. So if you are a 60 guest Empire Suite, you have the ability to purchase up to 12 additional tickets. And if you're a 30 guest, you have the ability to purchase up to 6 additional tickets. The beauty of these additional tickets is that they can be piecemealed however you wish. So say you want to purchase 2 additional Wednesday tickets and then 1 additional Sunday ticket. You can completely piecemeal these together however you wish. Also, a benefit of these additional tickets is that you can purchase them up until the last day of the event. So say things are getting tense between the United States and Europe on the final day, and you've already sent all your tickets and you have a key stakeholder who wants to come to the Ryder Cup, you do have the ability to purchase those additional tickets and piecemeal those together however you wish. We are still working on the purchase link for those additional tickets, but those will come at the price point of $1,600. That does not include taxes or service fees. However, these tickets will be available for purchase when we see you in a few weeks at Bethpage Black for a Ryder Cup Premier Week. Any questions regarding additional tickets and anything about additional tickets, purchasing those?
Just a couple here, Murph. First question from John. Is the same staff badge used each day or will it be a different badge per day? John, that'll be the same staff badge that's used for the entire week. And then questions about additional tickets. Is that 6 per day or 6 for the week? That will be 6 available to you on each day of Ryder Cup week.
That's correct. And then John, just one thing about the staff badge. Once we send that staff badge to you, that is in your possession and it's up to you to manage how you transfer that amongst your company and your coordinator. So we kind of take the liability out of our hands once we send that to you, and that resides in your sole possession. So any questions, further questions, certainly stop us or throw them in the chat and we'll address them. To go to the staff badges. So once again, if you're a 60 guest, you'll receive 2. If you're a 30 guest, you'll receive 1 of these staff badges. If you do need to purchase additional staff badge, they come at the price point of $5,000 for a staff badge. Once again, that gets you access to the Ryder Cup for the entirety of the week. It includes food and beverage, and it does have those greater privileges, such as coming and going from the Ryder Cup, bringing in a laptop or extra supplies. These will be made available for purchase once we see you in a few weeks. We will release the max quantities that you are able to purchase for these planner staff badges. But those 2 price points are made available. So $1,600 for an additional ticket and $5,000 for an additional planner staff badge. Before I pause for any questions, as each of you all know, you are Empire Suite purchasers on this call, and your Empire Suite is located on hole 18. However, we do have a unique opportunity that our operations team just released, and it is an ancillary viewing area on 1 green / 17T and 14 green. I'll scroll through these photos right here, but these are 2 ancillary viewing areas. You can see this viewing deck, which is right up against the green, not these bleachers. This viewing deck out front is where you would have access to, as well as this viewing deck on 1 and 17T. So this is a completely voluntary option to increase your Ryder Cup experience. It is a viewing badge that we will release the pricing and the way to purchase these and the maxes that you can purchase if you wish to take advantage of this. And we'll have these links firmed up and the pricing firmed up once we see you in a couple weeks. But this is, once again, just an opportunity to maximize your experience, and it is solely available to Empire Suite purchasers, and it will operate on a first come, first serve basis, and it is subject to sellout. So our operations team just got us this information this week, and we'll have more information to speak to it in a couple weeks. So a lot of information we covered so far, but I'll pause there if there are any questions before we dive into the next part.
Just a couple more questions coming down the line, Murph. From Gabrielle, can you confirm laptops, iPads will be allowed to be brought in? Yes, Gabrielle. So that staff badge, one of the capabilities it allow you to do is to bring a laptop or an iPad through security. A standard ticket holder wouldn't be able to get that through security, but the staff badge would allow somebody to bring those. Murphy, for the parking passes, is the preferred lot on site and walkable to enter the grounds, or will it be a shuttle ride from the lot to the entrance?
Sure. It's a great question. So as you can imagine, the Ryder Cup is one of the largest sporting events in the world. So our operations team is still firming up the parking lot and address, and we'll be in a position to release that to you soon. I can give you confidence that it is a parking lot very, very close to the grounds of Ryder Cup, and we will have a couple-minute shuttle golf cart ride dropping you off right in the golf course. I just don't want to release it until our operations team gives us the full green light and full confidence. But once again, we're a year out, and we'll give you that information as soon as it becomes available.
Few more questions coming down the line, Murph. Just to confirm, will you send out a link to purchase extra tickets and extra badges for those who are not going to be in person in a few weeks? Yes, Shannon, those links will become available to you all in the near future. You're not required to be in person at Premier Week in order to purchase those. Fran, are the viewing passes for ticket holders only? Yes, that's correct. The viewing badge itself would not grant you access into the grounds. It would have to already be a ticketed guest, and then this would be a plus up for that ticket would be access into the viewing area.
And then one thing on that, Fran, I'm not sure if you were asking it, but it is made available just to Empire Suite purchases. So the general public would not have access to purchase into this viewing area. It is just made available to those on this call and those who have purchased an Empire Suite.
A question from Kelly regarding the 14 green viewing. Is that standing room only, no seating for Empire Suite holders? So there's tip down seating and standing room, I believe. Well, correct me if I'm wrong there, Murph. I'll have you jump in on that one. Or Kristen.
Yeah, I'll jump in. It will be standing room only just to maximize capacity in there. So there will not be any tip down seating at either of the viewing areas.
Thanks, Kristen. From Mary, are the additional tickets available on first come, first served basis? Mary, so that's those 6 tickets per day. That is, those are your 6 tickets that you're available to purchase for your venue. So it won't be first come, first served. That's just the full allotment that you will have available to you up until the event.
Yes.
Question from James. Will additional parking passes be available for purchase?
At this time, no. Again, Murphy's saying we're still firming up the lot and whatnot, so I would not plan on them being available. If they are, we will obviously let you all know.
Thanks, Kristen. Murph, you may get into this a little bit later, but can you elaborate on the benefits of being in person in a couple weeks for Premier Week?
Sure. I won't address it right now, but when we get closer to the end of the call, I will address that.
All right. Thank you. One last question at this time. Are the viewing passes for each day, or do you purchase them for the entire event?
Those will be week-long badges. So if you purchase a viewing badge, that will be active Wednesday through Sunday. So it is a physical badge that you will have access all days of the week, Wednesday through Sunday, and it is transferable. So say you have a guest who wants to go use the viewing badge, they come back to the Empire Suite and cool off, they can pass that badge off to another guest to go and utilize that viewing area.
Thank you, Murphy. And then one question from Brendan. Are the viewing passes transferable within each day? Can multiple guests use within each round? Correct me if I'm wrong, Murphy, but I believe those will be transferable. So a guest could go in, enjoy their time in the viewing area, and then when they leave, you could pass that badge to another one of your guests.
That is correct.
And that would just be Friday through Sunday.
Okay. All right, we'll go ahead and dive into the next portion of today's call, and we'll pause for any questions. So the next thing I want to touch on is, and I know the question came up, what are the benefits of attending Ryder Cup Premier Week in just a few weeks? So we will have dedicated service partners in person to speak with each of you. Obviously, I don't work in the merchandise program or the transportation program, but we will have those representatives on site in person to explain their services to you. However, part of today's call is I want to give you a high-level overview of what to expect during Ryder Cup Premier Week, as well as these service partners who are offering ways to enhance your Ryder Cup hospitality package. So the first item I want to review is your decor package. So obviously, those on this call are purchasers of an Empire Suite. We do have a few visuals just posted here for your view to kind of paint the picture of what you can expect inside your Empire Suite. We will have a representative from Salem Sports in person at Ryder Cup Premier Week, and he will be going through your base package as well as a few decor elements that you can customize to enhance that Empire Suite and put it in your company's branding, or if you wanted to change out a few decor elements, you will have the opportunity to do so. So once again, I won't go into too much depth on this call. I just want to make you all aware that during Ryder Cup Premier Week, you will hear from a representative from our decor team, and he will be going through your decor package and a few ways that you can enhance those decor elements if you wanted to enhance your suite and put it in your kind of company's branding or accommodate any of your guest appetites. Moving quickly before we pause for questions, in the same vein is our custom catering. So Wednesday through Sunday, as a part of your Empire Suite, you will have a full-blown hospitality food and beverage package included. So that includes very high-end spirits as well as custom food and beverage fitting the Empire Suite guest, and it is all-inclusive to each of your guests. You will hear from a representative from our catering team. However, I do want to make you all aware that I've included the menus from last year's PGA Championship. Once again, just disregard the hours, but I wanted to post these just to give you an idea of some of the elements, the food and beverage elements that you can expect during your Ryder Cup experience. One thing to note, this is just Thursday through Sunday. However, Wednesday through Sunday, you will have access to your hospitality venue and full-blown food and beverage. Down here also includes some of the spirits that you will receive. Once again, these are previous menus, and just to give you context, so some of these items are subject to change as well as the hours. But just want to make you all aware that we do have the menus posted for your convenience to kind of explain some of those elements. There will be a few food and beverage opportunities available for you to enhance and adjust if you wish, and you will hear from those, and you will hear what those are from our catering team in just a few weeks when we gather you guys in person. Lastly, before we pause for questions, I want to go through an opportunity that's made available just for you all as hospitality purchasers. So being an Empire Suite purchaser, you have the exclusive opportunity to take advantage of our dual logo merchandise program. And what this is you have the ability to purchase any piece of apparel, accessory, hat, etc., and put your company logo next to or close by the Ryder Cup logo. And this is a great way for you to show your company's involvement with the Ryder Cup and show your support. And a lot of guests that you invite to the Ryder Cup treasure these pieces of apparel and wear them until the threads start going out, because it is such a momentous event and they had such a great experience. So once we see you all in person, you will hear from our merchandise team, and they will go through the nuances of this program and how you can take advantage of it. We're just making you aware of the opportunity right now and kind of briefing you on Premiere Week. So you can see some of the questions in here. You can see how you can put your company logo on a piece of apparel and how it is close to the Ryder Cup logo. So these are just some of the opportunities. We've reviewed your decor package, your catering package, and the dual logo merchandise program. However, I'll pause there for any questions regarding any of those services that we've quickly reviewed.
Yeah, Murph, just a few questions coming through here. One just from Christy asking if we're able to resend the details surrounding Premiere Week. So Christy, just a quick clarification for you. All the Empire Suite meetings will take place in person on October 7th. However, I'm sure we can reshare any information that you need. You can reach out to your Ryder Cup sales contact in order to obtain that. A question from Danielle. Kristen, if you can take this one. How many people from each company are allowed to attend Premiere Week?
I believe we had it at 4 total. So whoever RSVP could also RSVP for another additional 3.
Great, thank you. A question from Lisa. Will there be kosher food that is available on the menu? Murph, I'm going to kick this one to you.
Sure. So obviously we're still working with our catering team, releasing and firming up the menus. However, they will be all detailed with any, allergies or any kind of how the food is laid out. So that will all be released and will be detailed on the menu.
Thank you, Murphy. A question from Shannon. Will there be another in-person opportunity for those who aren't able to make Premiere Week? Unfortunately, Shannon, we won't have another chance to get everyone in person, just with all the service partners that'll be there. There's a lot of conflicting dates and scheduling that makes this the best time to work for all of them. However, I'm sure they'd be happy to connect on a one-off basis, and you can connect with your Ryder Cup sales contact in order to coordinate that. Question about dual logo. Will that be an additional cost, or will that be included in the overall suite package? That will be an additional cost. Any of those can be discussed with Legends merchandise in person at Premiere Week. They can provide clarification there. And then one more question from Kelly on timeline for enhancements for decor and F&B decision dates. Kelly, those will be shared with you in the near future, and those will also be clarified, can be clarified in person with those service partner contacts come Premiere Week. And I think that's everything for now.
All right. Thank you, Isaiah. All right. So the next portion of today's call is probably the most important in my opinion, and it relates to transportation and accommodations. As you all know, the Ryder Cup is out on Long Island. It's not in the heart of New York City, which a lot of guests get confused with, and it is going to require a lot of planning and logistics if your guests are staying, for example, and in Manhattan and getting out to Long Island. So once again, these are probably the most important elements to really, really maximize your guest experience, because it is Bethpage Black is somewhat of a drive, and it is, if you are staying in downtown Manhattan, and we want to go through these opportunities. So Fugazi Transportation is our official black car or executive car service And this is an exclusive opportunity made available to you all. You do have access to preferred rates and a white glove service with Fugazi Transportation. We typically see guests utilize this service if they have a key stakeholder. Let's say, for example, flying into JFK, they want them to be picked up in a black car and taken right to Bethpage Black. Fugazi Transportation is our official provider. They're coming off the heels of US Open Tennis, where they did all of the executive car service there. So they are very well versed. They are able to do an event of this scale and accommodate any of your needs. Once again, we do encourage you to manage expectations about transportation getting out to Bethpage Black, because it will be a difficult lift, fully transparent, and it's going to require some planning on your behalf. So we recommend looking into Fugazi Transportation, who is our official executive car service, if this meets your needs. Before I pause for questions, we have an alternative transportation service, which is provided by TCS Convention Store. And this service is typically used for if a planner wants to move all of their guests to and from the golf course in one swift movement. So say, for example, you are having all of your guests who are coming to your Empire Suite staying in a hotel or a nearby home, and you want them picked up in a large coach shuttle and dropped off at the golf course, moving all of those bodies in one singular movement. This is a reason you would take advantage of our shuttle service. A lot of guests do take advantage of this because it is a very useful service, and it allows all of those guests to be moved in one moment. Before we pause for questions, I want to go through the last transportation provider we have, which is our helicopter program. Blade is our official provider of this service. So if you're in New York City, you're pretty familiar with Blade. We will have a landing zone on the premises of the Ryder Cup, and Blade typically offers a service within a 200-mile radius, allowing for those pickup and drop-off points. So those are 3 transportation providers. Once again, we have an executive car service, a shuttle transportation service, and a helicopter service made available to you with preferred rates and a white glove service just to enhance your client experience. Kristen Powers, if you want to dive in on anything related to transportation.
Yeah, just one thing. I know some of you might not use any of these providers, or some of you might use all of them for other transportation needs outside of Ryder Cup. They do own all of our slips and drop-off spots and whatnot. So even if you hypothetically were to have your own maybe in-house car service or something along those lines, you would still need to work with each of these providers to schedule times and probably pay a premium in order to use one of those drop-off spots. So even again, if you have your own in-house transpo, you will still need to work with these providers in some capacity.
Very good. And yeah, they are our official providers, and we've worked with them several years, and they're the best in the business. Any questions regarding our transportation providers?
I don't see any questions in the chat at this time. I think there's one from Kara. Kristen, if you could, I think there's a little confusion on the statement with those access to the slips.
Yep. So for example, I'll just use a PGA championship, for example. If you were to have a 100 guest passenger van and you needed to drop them off, but did not, let's say, have your own transpo company, not the convention store, you would still need to work with the convention store in order to access the closest drop off for your guests. So all of our official providers are contracted to have all of the specific drop-off spots that are on site. And Kara, feel free to message me on the side or email me for any follow-up questions regarding that.
Thanks, Kristen. One more question from Mary. Is there a deadline for Blade? And Mary, that's information that'll be coming to you down the line on what those deadlines will be. However, Blade will be in person at Premier Week, so they should be able to provide clarity on what those deadlines will look like.
All right. Okay, and if there are any questions regarding transportation that certainly pop up, we're happy to revert back and address any of these. But once again, element that I think is very, very important to the Ryder Cup planning process is not only transportation, but accommodations. Long Island hotels are moving fast, and it is becoming an operational lift. And it is, there's only so much available inventory out on Long Island. A lot of hospitality guests are utilizing Manhattan to enhance their guest experience and moving and keeping them in Manhattan. However, we do have On Location, who is our official hotel provider in this space that is made exclusive to you all just as hospitality purchasers. So On Location is here at your service to help you with any of your hotel accommodations and provide preferred rates. They do have room blocks throughout New York, and they do have those that are made available just to you all as hospitality purchasers. So we've taken some of the planning lift off your plate by contracting On Location for you all to work with. And we highly encourage you to, give On Location a call, as they do have those room blocks and they can accommodate any of your hotel needs, because we feel that transportation and accommodations are going to be two of the most important pieces related to this planning process. Once again, once we see you in person in a couple weeks, there will be a representative from On Location going into further detail regarding the hotel program and some of the blocks that they have and their services that they can offer. Before I pause for questions, we do have a private home rental company that is our official partner. So Rent Like a Champion. They have several homes on Long Island and close to the golf course that are currently contracted. They do have these homes booked. Typically, we see hospitality guests take advantage of this program if they want all of their guests to stay under the same roof. So once again, we have all of these providers at your service. So say you wanted everyone to stay under the same roof, you wanted a shuttle to pick them up and take them to the golf course. We have everything made available for you to enhance this experience and make it as memorable and turnkey as possible. So Rent Like a Champion is our current provider. I think they have 150 homes already contracted and available for the Ryder Cup. So they will be able to speak to these services, and we will have a representative in person speaking about some of the homes and how they can contract those if you wish to take advantage of this experience. So this is just one of the homes in the nearby area, giving you some examples. So are there any questions regarding hotel accommodations and or private home rentals that we have available for you all?
Yeah, Murph, nothing on hotels or private homes at the moment, but a couple more back on transportation.
Sure.
Regarding the train station situation, will there be a shuttle service from the Bethpage train station to Bethpage Black?
Kristen?
Yeah, I'll just speak to just one more time to transportation in general. Obviously, it's going to be a very important one in this area. So starting at general public, taking out parking passes, taking out all of that, just general public. You will have, the LIR will be running from both Grand Central and Penn Station and getting dropped at the Farmingdale train station. From there, we will have shuttles running. That is for anyone taking the train. So you could be a corporate client, you could be a general public ticket holder. They all will be getting dropped off if you take the LIR at Farmingdale, getting on a general public shuttle, and then getting taken to the main entrance of the Ryder Cup. So it'll be a different entrance than what your guests with Lot C parking passes would be entering from. So that would be coming from the LIR. There will also be an Uber drop on site at Bethpage Black. The exact location of that will be TBD at this point, but obviously we're happy to release that information. Probably we'll have it beginning to middle of next year for you all to plan accordingly. And then you have your parking passes. So your Lot C parking passes are, in theory, really are for those people that are driving themselves and staying for the day. And then above that is the Fugazi, the Blade, and the convention store. So that's just above and beyond what we've already kind of planned and provided as PGA of America. So if you just really want to make it that private white glove service, those are what those other three providers are for.
Exactly. And we will, obviously, we're 1 year out from the Ryder Cup, right? A lot of these things, we're close to the Ryder Cup, but we're also very far away from the Ryder Cup from a planning perspective on our end. So we will be providing all this information on the planner site, giving you full confidence on these transportation. It's just, having done this so many years, a year out is when the planning process really starts. So I know a lot of you all have questions and it's kind of ramping up, but all this information will be coming down the line. It will be posted, and you'll have full confidence heading into the 2025 Ryder Cup.
Thanks for the clarification there. I think that's everything we have in the chat at this time.
All right, very good. So we're going to wrap up today's call with just a review of the planning calendar and Ryder Cup Premier Week, which is coming up in just a couple weeks. So once again, this planning website is your Bible, for lack of a better word. It has every single thing you need to know. It is a live and breathing website. So we will be making constant updates to this website, but we will also be notifying you of any of those updates with open lines of communication via email and these planning meetings. So this is just the first of many calls coming down the line. So I won't review the whole planning calendar, but it is here for your review. It starts today and it goes all the way up until a year from the Ryder Cup. And I just want to review a few key timelines up until the start of next year. So each of you should have received your hospitality agreement. This is a formal agreement just locking in your hospitality purchase. You should have received that. We just need to execute that from an insurance and liability standpoint, having that formal agreement in our possession. Moving forward, so October 7th is when we have 2025 Ryder Cup Premier Week. So this will be an in-person meeting where we have each of you all in person at the grounds of Bethpage Black. You will not only hear from our team, but you will also hear from all of the service partners that I just gave a brief introduction for. You should have received your RSVP. If you have not, please reach out to our team and ensure that you RSVP and invite anyone that are key stakeholders in your planning process. One thing I want to call out here is golf cart tours will not be available for October 7th, which is the day that you all are slated to attend. However, all of this other information does apply. We will be meeting with you in person and going through all of your services and your hospitality package. As we get closer to the new year, we will be working with you on assigning your exact Empire Suite out on 18 Fairway. And then first of the new year is when the merchandise shop will be released. So once again, I'm not going to go through all of these dates, but want to make sure you all have confidence that they are here for your review and they are available to keep the planning train on the tracks, if you will. Once again, calling out Ryder Cup Premier Week. This will happen on October 7th. We do have 3 sessions, and each of you should have received that RSVP. And if you have not done so, please do, so we can have each of you in person and kick off this Ryder Cup in a great, great way. So that will wrap up today's presentation. I know it was a lot of information. We will be sharing the recording and this link, but we're happy to stay on for any questions as long as you wish. And we're obviously available all days, all times of the hour to answer any questions. So with that, we can wrap up with a greater Q&A session to answer anything ahead of Ryder Cup Premier Week. And this will be recorded and we will be sending it as soon as we wrap up here. But thank you all so much for joining, and we can't wait to have you all in person. Go ahead, Mark.
Murphy, could you go back to the juniors tickets, please? I was a little confused about that, what we're supposed to be looking out for when we have juniors in our group.
Yeah, so Mark, this is a little confusing because there is a junior policy for the Ryder Cup. However, you have a hospitality package in an Empire Suite. So anyone that you're inviting to your Empire Suite and utilizing those tickets must have a hospitality ticket. So the reason I bring this up is we've seen instances of a family comes to one of our events. They bring 2 children that, they didn't notify us of, and they're 15 and 16 years old, and they want to bring them into the hospitality venue. However, they have to have that hospitality ticket to enter into that suite. So does that make sense?
Got it. One ticket per guest. The idea is that maybe juniors used to get in free or something like that.
Exactly.
Okay,
So
terrific.
this is the hospitality venue is just a more secure venue.
Makes sense. Thank you.
There's one question in the chat just asking about kind of the time frame to expect for the Premier Week meetings in terms of coordinating car service transportation to pick them up towards the end.
Yeah, I'll jump in on this one. I would say 12:30. It probably won't take a full 3. So even like I would say maybe 11:45, 12 should be more than fine. Also, just myself, Matt, Larry, and Daniel Watts, who is our coordinator, who we forgot to introduce earlier. Sorry, Daniel. Feel free to reach out to any of us with any questions. Like I said, I know this is a lot of information, but happy to clarify, hop on one-on-one calls before Premier Week, after Premier Week. It's what we're here for. So anything that comes up, please don't hesitate to shoot us an email.
Well, thank you all very much. We hope this was informative. And once again, we're a year out from the Ryder Cup, so there will be many, many more of these calls, making sure no stone is unturned ahead of the 2025 Ryder Cup. So thank you all again for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Sunny.
Hi, Kristen. Thank you for everything.
You're welcome.
Hope you all are doing great. This is exciting. See you soon, okay?
Sounds good. Give my best to Julie.
I will. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.